The blessing of the Lord makes rich, finding true wealth beyond money. Introduction. More than money. Why do we so often equate being rich with just having a lot of money? It's almost a reflex in our society. We chase pay raises, dream of the next big purchase, and scroll through social media seeing others' fancy vacations or new cars. The message we get is that if we just had a bit more money, we'd finally be happy. But is that really true? Think about it. Why do some people have plenty of money, yet they lie awake at night with no peace in their heart? We all know stories of celebrities or CEOs who have it all, but still struggle with depression or broken relationships. Even John D. Rockefeller, one of the richest Americans in history, admitted, "I have made many millions, but they have brought me no happiness." Fancy.com. Imagine that one of the wealthiest men ever still felt something was missing. So if money alone can't guarantee joy or peace, what actually makes a person feel truly rich? Could it be that we're looking for enrichment in the wrong places? Maybe being truly wealthy has less to do with the size of our bank accounts and more to do with something deeper that money can't buy. Let's explore what that might be. What does the blessing of the Lord makes rich mean? So, what exactly is this blessing of the Lord that makes rich? Does it mean God will drop a sack of cash on your doorstep if you say a prayer? Not exactly. This proverb, Proverbs 10 verse 22, isn't a get-rich-quick formula. It's a nugget of wisdom about where true wealth comes from. The blessing of the Lord means God's favor, His gift or help in your life. When God blesses you, He enriches your life in a way nothing else can. And sure, sometimes that could include financial provision, but it's so much bigger than just money. It might be the blessing of a loving family, true friends, doors opening for a new opportunity at just the right time, the strength to get through a hard time, or a deep sense of peace and purpose. Have you ever met someone who doesn't have a lot of money, yet their heart is full of joy and gratitude? That's someone living in the richness of God's blessings, and God adds no sorrow with it. In other words, God's gifts don't come with the catch or downside that worldly riches often do. You know how sometimes people chase money and end up with a ton of stress, guilt, or broken relationships as a result? That's the sorrow that can tag along with wealth pursued at any cost. But if the Lord is the one who makes you rich, you won't have that regret or emptiness attached. When He gives you something, you can enjoy it fully. His blessings bring joy, not headaches, peace, not anxiety. It's the kind of richness that won't keep you up at night worrying, because you know it's from God and it's good. A real-life story, from empty wealth to fulfilled life. Let me share an example of how God's blessings can truly change a life. Meet Michael. By the time he was 35, Michael was living what many would call the American dream. He had a high-paying job at a big tech company, a 6-bedroom house with a pool, and a shiny new car in the driveway. On the outside, it looked like he had made it. But inside, Michael felt hollow and anxious. Each night he would lie in his expensive bed staring at the ceiling, feeling this unexplainable emptiness. He kept thinking, "I have everything I ever wanted, so why am I not happy? What's missing?" At first, he tried to fill that void by buying more stuff, a new watch, another luxury vacation, but the thrill always faded fast. One evening, over dinner, Michael finally opened up to an old friend, saying, "I just don't get it. I thought having all this would make me happy, but I'm miserable." His friend gently asked, "Mike, when's the last time you talked to God?" Michael was taken aback. He hadn't prayed or been to church in years. But that night, desperate for peace, Michael did something he hadn't done since he was a kid. He prayed. It was a simple, honest prayer. "God, I need help. I feel so lost. Please show me what I'm missing." Over the next few weeks, Michael's life began to change in subtle but powerful ways. He dusted off the old Bible his grandmother had given him and started reading a few verses each morning before work. He found a local church and met people who cared more about him than about his money. He even started volunteering at a shelter on weekends, something totally out of his comfort zone. And you know what? That empty feeling began to fade, replaced by a sense of peace he had never felt before. That Michael's laugh slowly came back. He reconciled with his younger brother after years of drifting apart. He even turned down a big promotion at work so he could spend more time with his wife and kids, and their relationships grew stronger than ever. Today, Michael will tell you, "I'm still working a good job, and I still enjoy nice things, but those aren't the source of my happiness anymore. God's love and guidance, His blessing, that's what made me truly rich." He discovered that the blessing of the Lord gave him a wealth of peace, love, and purpose that no paycheck could ever provide. His life is proof that when God blesses you, it can transform you from the inside out. A parable of two travelers, true wealth versus false wealth. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine two travelers making their way through a vast, hot desert. Both are exhausted and thirsty under the blazing sun. Suddenly, each of them finds something half buried in the sand. One discovers a heavy bag filled with gold coins, while the other finds a simple canteen of water and a map to the nearest oasis. The first traveler is ecstatic. He hoists the bag of gold onto his shoulder and shouts, "I'm rich. This is amazing." In his mind, he's set for life with all that treasure. The second traveler, meanwhile, takes a careful sip from the water and smiles as he studies the map guiding him to fresh springs ahead. He tries to show his friend the map, but the first traveler is too busy clutching his bag of gold to pay attention. So they part ways. One man weighed down by his newfound wealth, the other walking briskly toward the promise of water. After a few hours, the desert sun grows even hotter. The man loaded with gold is now struggling. The bag is so heavy, and his mouth is dry as cotton. Each gold coin that he thought made him rich feels like a rock dragging him down. In desperation, he turns around and stumbles back, hoping to find his friend with the map. Meanwhile, the second traveler reaches the oasis marked on the map. He kneels down and drinks freely from the cool spring, filling his canteen to the brim. Just then, out of the shimmering dunes, who comes crawling on hands and knees but the first traveler. He collapses at the oasis, utterly exhausted, and with a weak voice he gasps, I'd give all this gold for just a cup of water." His friend gently lifts his head, gives him a drink, and says with a sympathetic smile, "Take all you need. And next time, maybe listen when someone offers you a blessing." This simple story has a clear lesson. The bag of gold is like chasing wealth or success without God. It might glitter at first, but it can weigh you down and leave you empty when it really counts. The water and the map represent God's blessings and guidance. They might not seem as flashy, but they lead to life, refreshment, and real security. In the end, the traveler who chose the water and followed the map was the one who found life, while the one clinging to his gold nearly lost everything. Similarly, when we follow God's direction and cherish His blessings, we find a richness that truly sustains us, often through things that seem ordinary yet turn out to be far more valuable than anything the world calls treasure. How to receive and use God's blessings. So how can we receive God's blessings in our lives? And what do we do with those blessings once we have them? Here are some practical steps. Open your heart to God. Start by inviting God into your life and decisions. Pray and ask Him to lead you. You can't receive a blessing if your heart is closed off to the one who gives it. Trust His definition of rich. Be willing to let God redefine what rich means for you. It might be deeper relationships, a stronger character, or opportunities to make a difference, not just a bigger bank account. Trust that He knows what you truly need. Be grateful for what you have. Take time to count the blessings you already have. Gratitude opens your eyes to see God's hand in your life and prepares you to receive more. Often, we realize we're already richer than we thought. Use your blessings to help others. When God blesses you, whether it's with money, talents, time, or wisdom, use those blessings to bless others. Help someone in need, encourage a friend, or support a good cause. God's blessings multiply when we share them, and you'll find you feel even richer when you use what you have to make a positive impact. Stay close to God, the giver. Keep nurturing your relationship with God. Read the Bible, pray, and spend time with people who encourage your faith. The closer you stay to God, the more clearly you'll recognize His blessings in your life. Plus, when challenges come, and they do for everyone, you'll be anchored by the confidence that God is with you and will provide for you in the way you need most. Conclusion: a challenge to trust God. We've covered a lot of ground, from why money alone can't satisfy, to what the blessing of the Lord makes rich really means, to stories and a parable illustrating true wealth. It all points to one simple but profound truth. God is the true source of a rich, fulfilling life. He wants to bless you with that no-sorrow kind of richness we talked about. Now, after hearing all this, I want to turn the question to you. What about your own life? Maybe you've been chasing success on the world's terms, or maybe you know what it's like to have plenty, yet still feel like something's missing. You might find yourself at a crossroads, a bit like those two travelers in the desert. One path is to keep doing things the world's way, chasing the gold, chasing the next achievement, hoping it will satisfy. The other path is to slow down, reach out for God's hand, and trust Him to lead you to the oasis. Yes, it can feel scary to let go of control and trust God, especially when it comes to something as personal as our success or security. But remember, God is faithful. He never fails those who put their trust in Him. He's not asking you to stop working hard or to give up on your dreams. He's asking you to put Him first and let Him take care of the rest. So, are you ready to take that step of faith? Ready to experience what it's like when the blessing of the Lord fills your life with true riches? I encourage you to try it. Start today, even with a small prayer or a simple act of trust. That I'll leave you with this one important question. Are you ready to trust God in this area of your life? Thank you so much for reading/watching. If this message inspired you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more uplifting content. And if you feel led to support our work, we humbly welcome your support through PayPal. Your generosity helps us continue to spread this message. Thank you, and God bless.